Why don't we hit crypto first? Where are you in that journey at this point?
Well, the first thing I'd say is the regulatory environment is definitely evolving, and it's going to allow us to re-enter being able to offer crypto coins in our invest product, the ability to buy, sell, or hold cryptocurrency. And we hope to be able to do that over the next 6 months or so. In our earnings call, we'll talk about the fact that over the next 6 to 24 months, we want to enter cryptocurrency and blockchain activities in a much broader and more significant way. Again, it's dependent on the evolving regulatory environment, but so far that environment's been really positive. We want to be able to offer blockchain products and crypto products across every area that we're currently in. So across lending, across paying, across investing, and as well as protecting. We think it's a technology more than anything else, and we can use it to allow people to pay easier at a lower cost, to pay faster, and over time, be able to capture some of the opportunity by providing infrastructure services to third parties via our technology platform. So it really will cut across every element of our business.
What is the blockchain business and crypto business in the lending space ultimately look like to you?
Again, it's going to be subject to the regulatory environment, so I just have to caveat that. But today, we provide margin loans in our invest business where you can borrow money against your securities, against your assets. We can do the same thing with cryptocurrency. If we custody the cryptocurrency, we can provide a secured loan against that currency. Again, a lower cost of lending for our members, just like margin loans are, but an asset that they can borrow against, just as they do their home or securities in their invest account.
Hey, what's going up, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. What if I told you that the system is hiding something big, something that could shake the foundation of your investments? Right now, whispers are circulating, banks are faltering, regulators are stalling, and new players in the crypto game is quietly stacking power. Is this a coincidence, or is someone pulling the strings behind the scenes? The truth is, the crypto world moves very fast, faster than ever, and if you're not paying attention, you could miss the next big move. But don't worry, I've got you covered. Today, we're diving deep into the headlines shaking up the market. Ripple's stablecoin hitting a massive milestone, a major bank outage raising red flags, and the SEC is playing games with your favorite coins. These aren't just stories, they're signals, and I'm going to help you decode them. Stick with me because the solution to staying ahead is very simple: knowledge, timing, and action. And here's the kicker. If you stick with me until the end, I'm going to drop an exclusive reveal, a free ebook packed with altcoin secrets that could change how you play this game. Plus, we will be jumping over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in the financial world today. We're going to jump over to Forex Factory and find out all of the financial news that'll be important for you to know this week that'll cause volatility in the market. We'll dive deeper into this Ripple stablecoin surpassing the major milestone. SEC is playing games with the XRP and DOGE ETFs. And we will be jumping into the XRP charts and we'll be checking out the current support and the next level of resistance for XRP. We'll also take a look at the short-term and long-term momentum waves.
Most people that are interested in crypto trading don't have the time to manage their entries and stop losses, so they invest with emotion, and that's why they lose. So we have a powerful way for you to make money by directly copying our trades and other successful crypto traders. And copy trading is one of the easiest and most popular ways to make money in crypto. Copying other traders that had more experience than me is how I became a crypto millionaire before 30 when I was new to the industry back in 2016, but I had to manually enter the trades myself, which was super stressful because I didn't understand how to properly set up stop losses or take profits back then. So I ended up missing great entry points or holding longer than I should have, losing out on potential profits. That's why leveraging a copy trading platform that does this for you is the best way to go. And how it works is the exchange will put in the orders for you when you copy another experienced trader. That way you don't have to manually follow the trade alerts or enter or exit trade positions sitting at a computer all day long. And it's very easy to get started with too. All you have to do is go to the link in the description below this video and create your free account, deposit any crypto asset that is listed on the platform, and then choose which trader you like to copy that has the best win rate. And full disclaimer, because we believe in transparency, we do earn a small commission for every trade that you make on the exchange, but that helps support videos like this to help you succeed. And you can also get exclusive access to our top altcoin picks and breaking crypto news updates as well inside of our Telegram group through the link below this video. So check that out. I know you're going to love it.
But first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. Currently, we are at 2.95 trillion. We are still not able to break above that $3 trillion mark just yet. We are down 0.66% on the day. The last 24-hour volume was pretty weak, all the way down at 77 billion. We'd like to see it continuing to stay up over $100 billion a day. The positive news, though, we are essentially trading sideways in the total market cap. We haven't taken a dip back down to the 2.6 level, getting very, very close to that $3 trillion level. And this is on the 30-day chart. So as you can see, we are making newer highs, which is very positive. When we zoom out to the yearly chart, we did break above this level here on March 25th, was 2.8 trillion. And that was the previous lower high. Now that we have a higher high above that, we have new market structure in the total market cap. Taking a look at the fear and greed, coming in at 52 today. Yesterday was 53 neutral, and last week was 52 as well. Altcoin season index still flashing Bitcoin season. It's an 18 out of 100 right now. Yesterday was 18, last week was 14. Bitcoin dominance still absolutely crushing it at 63.5%. It's up 2.2%. And taking a look at our Bitcoin ETF tracker, we did have a drop off, minus $36 million. Last week was absolutely spectacular. And as you guys can see, this is the price, the gray line here. You can see when the volume starts to come into the ETFs, it really surges the price, which is very positive, an early indicator. So when we zoom out to the yearly chart, last week was the second largest inflows ever into the Bitcoin ETFs, over $3 billion. It was only surpassed by November 17th's $3.3 billion. The calculation for the ETFs have started already. So the first day of this week, which was April 27th, coming in at $591 million to the upside. And then, of course, 4/28, yesterday's chart, having a downward sell-off of 36 million. But when we zoom back out to this yearly, we are currently 2 weeks in a row to the upside of positive net inflow for Bitcoin ETFs. We track these closely to see if this is going to start to surge the market to the upside. Top 5 cryptos by total market cap. Bitcoin, of course, coming in at $1.8 trillion total market cap. Ethereum number 2 at 217 billion. Tether at number 3 at 148 billion. XRP creeping up, trying to take that number 3 spot back. Currently coming in at number 4 at 131 billion. BNB at 84 billion. And Solana coming in at $75 billion at number 6. Jumping over to Forex Factory, the most important news that you need to pay attention to this week. All red folder news, all designed to create extreme volatility in the market. I mean, it's not there to create it, but it does definitely create it. So as we can see right here, the Jolt job openings came out. The forecast for job openings was 7.49 million. And we did not beat that. We got an actual of 7.19 million. So we're getting a red indicator. And again, this news is all based on United States news that makes the dollar and all of the stocks and everything in the United States stronger, including Bitcoin. But the usual effect here is an actual greater than forecast number is good for the currency or US dollar. Unfortunately, we did not beat that. And why this matters? Well, job creation is an important leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for a majority of overall economic activity. So that came out 7 a.m. this morning, and unfortunately, it was not a positive news. Now, tomorrow, we are going to have non-farm employment. We are also going to be having employment cost index. We're going to have the GDP. We're going to have the PCE price index. So lots of news coming out tomorrow morning. Pay attention to that as well. And then Thursday, unemployment claims, PMI comes out. And then on Friday, the biggest news is going to be non-farm employment change and also the employment rate. And employment rate is going to be a massive, massive important number coming out this week. Heading over to X to find out what's happening in the crypto world. Well, Jack Mallers tells Bloomberg how 21 Capital will acquire more Bitcoin than Strategy. He says, we build products we intend to build on Bitcoin.
In the market, or the opportunity rather, that we've identified is to be a pure play Bitcoin business. We want to be the ultimate vehicle for the capital markets to participate in Bitcoin. And so that's not only accessing the capital markets to raise accretive Bitcoin denominated capital and grow something like Bitcoin per share through fundraising, but also building Bitcoin native business lines and business models. I think, as Tether and myself co-founding the business as partners, we have a lot of experience and success in our other business ventures in finding high margin, high growth opportunities. And we hadn't seen anyone that was using access to the capital markets, access to a massive Bitcoin balance sheet, extend that opportunity beyond just buying Bitcoin and actually building on top of Bitcoin. So we are a Bitcoin business at our core. It's at our founding. It's in our name. It's on our board. It's at our leadership. We build Bitcoin products. We're focused on Bitcoin cash flow. And then obviously an ability to accumulate Bitcoin through capital market fundraising and grow our Bitcoin per share. So we are as pure play a Bitcoin opportunity in the capital markets as we think exists. And that is what sets us apart from everyone.
And this is really interesting for the capital markets in general, banks and so on. Mr. Poole, Citibank, and HSBC on 429. And if you remember, we talked about 429. There was a 24 to 48 hour something could happen coming out that we saw from David Schwartz. But in reality, the XRP move didn't happen. And this, I don't relate to David Schwartz. However, if you ever followed Mr. Poole or know of anything of Mr. Poole, also a Riddler. In fact, if you were to go look up this account on x.com and we search it, the account actually is no longer available. There's a bunch of fake ones and so on and so forth. In fact, you can see right here this post from May 27, 2024, Mr. Poole with the tag, the exact words, the exact written out system here. You click it and the account is suspended. So kind of strange there. They broke X rules. Who knows what rules they broke? But interestingly enough, I want you to see here, this post is from April 29th, 2022, which would be today, but 3 years ago. And when we take a look at that and the actual linking to this post of what happened today on 429, Citibank has been hit by a nationwide outage. Breaking: Citibank, used by 200 million Americans, has been hit by a nationwide outage, Daily Mail reports. So how did this guy, Mr. Poole, know that something was going to happen with either HSBC or Citigroup, Citibank 3 years ago on April 29th? Is he a time traveler? A lot of people are calling this guy a time traveler. And the biggest deal going on right now, the same exact guy, Mr. Poole, posted this picture right here, which is, the dates are off. Don't get me wrong here. This one is from July 20th of 2022. And you can see this image here, and there's no way to, go back. These people have done the research. You can't go and make a post from 2022 right now. But if we take a look at what happened on April 26th of 2025, the White House posted the same exact photo, literally the same photo. This one from Mr. Poole from 3 years ago to this one, which was posted this week. So let me know, are you following along with this Mr. Poole's posts and all of the different correlation to what's happening? Do you believe that this is real, or is this some sort of glitch in the matrix? Let me know down in the comments. And as we continue to follow along on the China tariff situation, we know Scott Bessent yesterday came out and said that he has an escalation ladder in his back pocket. Well, now today he says that Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China.
I think that, over time we will see that the Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China. I've seen some very large numbers over the past few days to show if these numbers stay on, Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly. And even if there is a drop in the tariffs, that they could lose 5 million jobs. So remember that we are the deficit country. They sell almost 5 times more goods to us than we sell to them. So the onus will be on them to take off these tariffs. They're unsustainable for them.
They are saying,
I think.
So unsustainable for China, they say. The absolute craziness of this trade war, it is heating up without a doubt. We're going to continue following this. We also now see Temu came out and they're starting to charge an import tariff for goods coming into Temu. I personally have never bought anything off Temu, so I don't really care. There was also this craziness going on that Amazon, there was a fake news story coming out that Amazon was going to start putting their tariff pricings on each items on their website. Bezos came out and denied that and said there's no way that he's going to put the tariff additional costs on his actual standard Amazon website. Maybe that's for a side website or something. I don't know. I'll continue to follow that as I get more information for you on that as well. But these tariffs are starting to hurt other countries. There's also news that there is an actual deal inked, not signed yet. We're waiting for The United States is waiting for a signature from a prime minister. Once that's done, Scott Bessent announced that it's going to be a major deal. And then also today, President Trump says he is more knowledgeable than the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. I don't know. As far as Jerome Powell goes, obviously the guy's smart. They got him in a position. But at the same time, is he really smart? I mean, yeah, he's in the position of the Federal Reserve chairman of the board, the main guy. But the same people that put him up in these ranks, what's interesting is if you've heard of what Trump said, he was tricked into nominating this guy for that position. He feels like he made a mistake putting Jerome Powell in that position, which is interesting. As you know, Trump's first term, he made a ton of mistakes as far as appointing the wrong people because he was told who these people were by the deep state swamp and all of that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. But what's interesting is, could he have been elevated not being the right person? Well, we did see that Joe Biden was president for the last 4 years, and he literally wasn't even aware of what was going on a day-to-day basis. So definitely puppets are playing the puppet masters. Jerome Powell seems to be working as a puppet for somebody above telling him what to do because obviously we're in a trade war with another country. Well, Trump is also in a financial war or a currency war with our own Federal Reserve, which is not even a federal government agency. It's a privately owned bank. But craziness there. Trump continues to poke at Jerome Powell, and that doesn't help. That's not helping. That's not the way Jerome Powell has been motivated properly. Just in the U.S. Senate will vote in May on the Genius Act, which this is a big deal. The bill sets reserve requirements and oversight rules aiming to balance innovation with consumer protection, a major step for stablecoin regulation. So we do have a bill that is out there. This will regulate stablecoins, and it'll see a huge surge in stablecoin usage going forward. Speaking of stablecoins, USDC issuer Circle receives approval to operate as money service provider in Abu Dhabi. And as you saw in the very intro of the video, SoFi, if you're not familiar with SoFi, major company, SoFi Stadium for the NFL and so on, but SoFi to launch Bitcoin and crypto trading for 10 million customers, the CEO says. So SoFi was forced to drop Bitcoin features back in 2023 when it became a regulated bank under the Biden admin. So another Trump win. I mean, this is absolutely nuts. So when you look at the crypto markets, obviously not moving. Just there's no liquidity coming into, I mean, we get a couple of price swings, you know what I mean? But reality, Bitcoin should seriously be over 100 grand. XRP should easily be over $3 and on and on. But that's because there is no liquidity coming into the market. Quantitative tightening has hurt everybody. We're potentially going into a recession. As I always tell you guys, the reason prices go up is the major banks, the major institutions, the major players behind, whether it's a stock or a crypto, push the prices up. So that way retail, regular people like you and me that get into the market, when they see these prices going, they're like, yeah, we're finally going to be rich. We're going to get in it. And then there's exit liquidity, which is us. We start to buy the FOMO and get in and get in and get in. And that's when the big giant institutions start dumping and selling it to retail buyers. Well, unfortunately, right now, there are no retail buyers. There's no money left, right? Everyone's late on their payments for their car, their house, and so on. Not everyone, but a huge amount. In fact, record-breaking numbers of people are late on their credit card payments. Record-breaking numbers are late on their houses right now. And they're also late on their car payments right now. People, there's tons and tons of cars getting repoed right now. Like you can see, if you even watch other videos on YouTube that are finance driven, you're going to start seeing videos from car dealership YouTubers, right? You're going to start seeing videos from YouTubers that do car flipping because they're going to start talking about, I just bought a repo for $100 and I sold it for 10 grand, you know? So you're going to see a lot of videos like that coming out because that's where the market is headed. And we're not even bottomed out on that yet, but everyone wants crypto to be $1 million or Bitcoin to be $1 million and XRP to be $10,000 a coin today. There's not enough people to buy, and other countries are still lagging so far behind. They're not getting on board with crypto as a whole. President Trump's Truth Social is going to be launching another coin. So a token and a wallet, and we'll get into that a little bit in today's main headlines. United Kingdom will collaborate with the US to boost adoption of crypto, which is a really good deal. And then speaking of the China tariffs, China is removing 125% tariff on US ethane imports. So apparently ethane is what you use to make plastics. China needs more of it. what if United States just stopped importing ethane altogether, right? So if we want them to remove tariffs off of us, no ethane for them, they can't build anything made with plastics. And then all of a sudden, that's another escalation ladder process there. And today, Justin, the SEC has extended its deadline to decide on the Franklin XRP Fund Spot ETF. The decision is now due by June 17th. So that got kicked down the road. And speaking of getting kicked down the road, the filings respond to March proposals by New York Stock Exchange ARTGA and CBOE BZX Exchange to list ETFs from Bitwise and Franklin Templeton. So the SEC did punt the decision on the XRP and DOGE ETFs. So the SEC is dragging its feet again, of course, delaying XRP and Dogecoin ETFs. After dropping its 4-year lawsuit against Ripple last month, you'd think that the SEC be ready to move faster, but nope, they're stalling again. And this comes after a federal judge ruled XRP isn't a security for retail investors, which sent XRP up 10% in a day back when that happened. And then you've got Dogecoin as well getting the kick, the original OG meme coin king, and it's also waiting for the ETF moment as well. But the SEC silent is keeping investors on edge. And the reason this matters is ETFs obviously can bring billions in institutional money to XRP. Like we just saw in the ETF tracker for Bitcoin, over $3 billion into the market of XRP last week and over $500 million already this week. Imagine what that'll do to the price of XRP when you get a move like that. The delays are frustrating, but the hype alone is keeping these coins in the spotlight. So we're going to continue following along, and I'll let you know. But here is the report right here. They're going to be pushing the can down the road. So although U.S. exchanges are embracing crypto ETFs, they're also urging the SEC to take a tough regulatory posture towards digital assets. In an April 25th comment letter, NASDAQ encouraged the SEC to hold digital assets to the same compliance standard as securities if they constitute stocks by any other name. Also, a massive news for Ripple and having ripple effects into XRP. Ripple's stablecoin, the RLUSD, just smashed past $300 million market cap. And that's only been around for a few months, as you guys know. It's now the 12th biggest stablecoin with a market cap of $316.98 million and a super active 12% volume to market cap ratio. And obviously, you probably know because you're a genius and you've been around for a while. By the way, if you're getting good value out there, make sure you subscribe. None of this information is financial advice, so make sure you do your own research as always. But this is big because stablecoins are the backbone of crypto. And think of them as the digital cash for trading, payments, and DeFi. RLUSD is pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar and backed by solid assets like US dollar deposits. Ripple's integrating it into their cross-border payment system, and with Japan's banks eyeing XRP for 2025, this could be a huge for global adoption. And it's going to matter because if RLUSD keeps climbing, it could rival giants like USDT and USDC, and that means more demand for XRP, which is already doing well. So exciting to see over $316 million market cap now with 12.08% volume to market cap ratio. All right, heading over to the charts for XRP. So as we talked about yesterday, we did have this level that we finally broke through on the 28th, and it was the $2.24 level. Yesterday, having a pullback and unfortunately getting a continuation to the downside candle. Now, one thing that we talked about is the potential of it coming back down to this trend line all the way back to the $1.50 level if we start to lose momentum. Because as you see, we've had continuous lower highs on the way down, lower high, this the next lower high. If it has another lower low in it, now not to say that it has to, because the fact that we did break market structure to the upside when we broke this level. So there is new market structure, new bullish market structure to the upside. But if we lose that and it was just a fake out to the upside, then we could be coming back here. However, if that was a real market structure break and we go from the lower level to the upper level, there's definitely a likelihood of coming back down into the golden pocket between the 618 and also the 786. Now, the interesting thing here for us, which is very positive, our $1.90 support level of the spider line, which is right here, is very close to the 618 Fibonacci. So essentially, if price did come back here, which needs a pullback, and it comes and it just wicks down into this level and gets a nice support off of this, then makes its next move to the upside, that is definitely a real possibility. So could XRP go down again to a lower level? Yes. Now, there's some really good signs, though, that we've been following along with here, and that is our Wolfpack long-term momentum indicator. It broke positive November 9th to the upside, and that's when we started having all this surge. Stayed green this whole time, had a bearish divergence right here, and that's when we started having the drop to the downside on our indicator, and it did go into the red, and it's been in the red ever since that date, which was February 4th when it dropped below. That's when we've been very bearish. Now, we have flipped back over to the bullish side of things. Could we have a small pullback and still remain bullish? Yes, that is definitely positive. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And when we take a look at our weekly candles, as we can see here, we've been bullish also since about that same time, November. Actually, the weekly crossed over on October 28th. So it was a pre-runner, but we are still bullish on our weekly charts here. And as I've been telling you guys, which is really exciting, is our short-term momentum wave has reset to zero. So there's tons of move to the upside available. If we take a look at our 3-day chart, it is already making its move to the upside. It has not hit an official reset of 100, even though it's had a couple of these little peaks. They've been weak. They have not been strong all the way back up into the strength level. And if we take a look here, we also had a bearish divergence on the 3-day. And then, of course, that's where we started losing it. Now, recently, we did have a hidden bullish divergence, which that came to us on the 3-day charts on April 19th. The 3-day chart has not officially passed over the zero line into bullish territory yet. So we've got to continue watching for that. So daily has crossed. We know that it's bullish there. 12-hour has crossed, and it's been up for quite some time, actually. It's been riding nice. It hasn't had any crazy upward trajectory movement. It's kind of just hanging out here, but it is positive. So that's good news on the 12-hour. When we drop to the 4-hour chart, you can see it's made a couple moves, had a little check back under the level. So it did recently have a bearish divergence. And since that bearish divergence indication right here, which was this peak on April 28th, we've been having a little bit of a pullback back into our support line, which is fine. So 4-hour charts looking like a potential move back to the upside here. It hasn't fully reset yet, but the good news is we are holding up at the $2.23 level. But if we do lose this and we do start to come back down, we could very likely come into the $2.05 range, but our support is at $1.90 to the downside.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,